We are back at Levi Stadium with the Tennyson football player dealing with a horrible accident at the start of last season.
Kiara Biagini is here with his story.
Robert, James Mozon is one tough young man who has dealt with a lot of loss in his life. Last football season, the junior lost his father in a tragic accident the night before a big game. It was October 11th, 2019, a game day for the Tennyson Lancers, and the day James Mozon learned he would never see his father again.
He was coming back from the store getting some change from my grandmother, and as he was crossing the street, he got struck by a car.
He was struck and killed about 11:30, and he passed away a little bit after midnight. So I received the call from one of his family members at about 3 in the morning, and I was just so stressed out because I was trying to figure out how was I going to tell my son that his dad was no longer here. So
James Mozon III is named after his father, James Jr. The two shared a very special relationship.
For me, it's really like I'm just like reliving him, like his spirit is like in me.
they had a tight bond. They had a tight bond.
When I was younger, like when we would go to the park and play basketball or play football, like it was like a special bond that we shared that like I've always wanted to share with someone.
James was a sophomore on JV when he found out his father passed away. His mom encouraged him to stay home to process and grieve, but James wanted to go to school. He had an algebra test he didn't want to miss, and most importantly, it was game day.
He texted me, his text was, "Hey coach, if I miss school, could I still play?" And in my mind, I'm like, no, you have to go to school. You know, I was like, unless you have a reason, is everything okay? And he told me what happened. And I told him, you know what, you don't gotta come to school. You don't have to come to the game. Like, take your time with your family. We understand, like, that's fine. And he was like, no coach, like he's like, my mom wants me to stay home from school. He was like, but I need to play. He's like, that's what I need to be on that field. I need to play. He was like, that's all I got.
I was just trying to get my mind right for the game to be able to perform the best that I can. And it was pretty overwhelming because I was trying to be strong, because I didn't really want anybody to know.
James knew the best way he could get through all the hurt and devastation was to be alongside his brothers on the gridiron. There was no way he was missing his game.
I'm not really one for like sympathy, like, oh, like I'm so sorry for you. Is there anything, like I'm not really one for sympathy. Like one thing my dad has always told me is to be strong and be a man. So that's what I felt like a man would do. He would be strong and just do what he has to do.
With a heavy heart, James played the night his father passed away and helped lead his team to a hard-fought victory. For James, football is so much more than just a game.
Football, I've been playing football since I was 8. And football was always just like a stress reliever. Like whenever I was dealing with something or dealing with the loss of a family member, I've dealt with a lot of loss in my life. Any pain or hurt that I had that I didn't want to like talk about, I would use it on the football field, and it always motivated me to like go harder. So really I can say it made me into the football player I am today.
I am so proud of him. He's overcome a lot in his life. We've had a lot of deaths in our family, and the average young man being his age couldn't say that they've lost 9 family members in a period of 6 years. So I believe that helped him mature a lot, and it made him stronger. And he's always been an old soul, so to speak, so he's always been kind of mature for his age, but it's making him grow even faster and, teaching him life lessons.
When something traumatic happens in someone's life, they could go a lot of ways. And, if you don't know how to handle it, how to cope with this traumatic experience, then you could fall off in terms of you acting out of character. I've been coaching a long time, and I've seen kids that have suffered similar to what James experienced. And some of them dropped out of school, or they committed crimes, their grades fell off, they lost focus of their goals. But this young man was, it's a testament to how he was raised. He was grounded and was like, okay, no, I got to stay busy, and I got to stay active and focused on my goals. You know, it takes a lot. Some people, we can understand that they couldn't go through with it, you know, and this young man was like, you know, I need this. And he was around his football brothers and family, and, you know, everybody knew what happened, and they showed their love and their empathy for him, and, you know, they were just, you know, letting him know they were there for him. And so I think it was good to be around family, his football family, and to stay active. I think that's a powerful coping tool, is to stay busy. I think that's a good lesson.
James thinks about his father every day and works hard to make him proud. He shares a few words to his father, who is watching down on him.
I hope I made you proud. I hope I'm doing everything that you've always wanted me to do. And I wish you could be here so you could see me live these dreams of mine and dreams of yours that, you know, that you weren't able to accomplish. So hopefully I'm reliving your dreams for you.
Football is molding James into a strong young man. He knows how to handle hardship and uses it to ignite his dreams.
James was brought up to varsity at the end of last season. He is expected to be a huge contributor for the Lancers this year, and he is ready to get back under the lights.
Doing great. All right, thanks.